So I decided to do a patch talk along thing. Anyway, instead of streaming today's what you guys get, first thing is to say they want to make more top laners viable. And then they buff Rumble first. In my opinion, Rumble was actually viable. He just wasn't well liked. His ult is very buggy. You say you want to use it here, and then it goes here, and anyway, it just shifts over. Wearing the live state with his Q is very frustrating. And generally, he's just not a fun champion. And so he's very unpopular. Plus, the teleport changes have made it to hyper late game champions. Are really the only one who's good top. And of those, you got Jackson, you got Ryze. And in my opinion, Ryze is better, but the 4v0 has made it so Jax is better because passive makes it really easy to take turrets anyway. Whatever. Let's start with the Aatrox. And yeah, whatever. They fixed his bug, but they didn't buff him. So they say, hey, Aatrox is only be used because of an exploit, but we're not gonna buff him. That was very weird to me. Meanwhile, Gragas, in my opinion, these changes are very good. They certainly have a lot of issues. As you'll notice here, maxing his Q, or maxing his W, or maxing his E was often a point of contention. With lots of people saying, oh, you want to max his W for the damage, I would say no, you have to max his E, because you need, the extra gap closing and power. Well, now, you max your W, and you get your E cooldown for free. The biggest problem with Gragas after these changes, even though these changes might make him competitive top lane as a Leandri's tank, might. The biggest change in my opinion, or biggest problem right now, is that you press his W, then you get the damage reduction, then you drink, and then you attack. But by the time you attack, you only got like 1 more second of damage reduction, and it's not a very large damage reduction to begin with. So yeah, that'll be the biggest problem with them after this change. This might make him competitive though, because in my opinion between Rengar and Gragas was a better one to begin with. These Hashinshin changes, the mana per level will make his ult deal more damage, and it'll also mean that he could build maybe a little bit tankier. The movement speed buff is just a movement speed buff. These changes make it so that right now a lot of Hashinshin players say, oh, these abilities suck, I don't want to max any of them. Because E doesn't get much damage, only gets 100 damage, and Q only gets 100 damage, and W only gets, 100 damage, so they said, okay, fine. Now if you max Q, you get a huge shield, and it's got a huge AP ratio, and it's amazing. The biggest problem, in my opinion, is that it only lives for 1.5 seconds. Now, Hashinshin can most, closely be compared to Riven, and if you compare their stats here, they're very similar. Riven is 1 more mana, or not, 1 more armor, and by level 3 their health equals out, and then after that, she's got 8 more health per level than Hashinshin, and she'll have like 100 more health by team fights. Both their shields last for 1.5 seconds, by the way. The biggest difference seems to be that Nullsphere never gets a lower cooldown, and when Riven shields as she's entering combat. So she shields as she's entering combat, and so you can't counterattack. Hashinshin shields, after he's entered combat, but the biggest difference is that for Riven, you can't really ignore her shield, since either if you try to back off, she'll get close, stun you, knock you back, whack you with huge auto attacks and kill you. Hashinshin, if you back off from his Q, he's already done his Q, he's already done his E. Really, the majority of his damage is already there, so you can easily back off and, slam hammer him. When the shield is gone. It's a very big shield, but only lasts for 1.5 seconds. I think maybe making this last 2 seconds would be the change he needs. Also, giving him a little bit more armor couldn't hurt. But I don't think Hashinshin's gonna go viable after this. Certainly good changes, but I think he's like one of the worst champions in the game right now. From Maokai, this might impact his gameplay, but the jungler tank item is way terrible right now, and I just don't see it getting any better. These Rengar changes, the biggest thing will be if his Q is bug fixed, and if his ferocity abilities, eating his normal abilities, getting bug fixed. These changes are actually fairly large buffs. This and this, because this means when you build my Rengar, where I go, Brutalizer full tank, it's 50 more damage on each Q. Here, probably not 50, but you know, a little bit more damage. Early game, at your level 2 combo, it makes your level 2 combo deadlier. The increased animation will also be pretty good. These changes will probably make Rengar viable, depending on the bug fixes. Don't quote me if they don't bug fix him. Without the bug fixes, it's going to be bad. I remember these mean nothing. Very short patch, in my opinion. The gold increase and the marginal monster kills means that I don't think Feral Flare is going to be viable competitively anymore. It's just going to be bad competitively. I see people going back to Elise and Pantheon instead of... Right now, Xin Zhao replaced Pantheon, but with this, you know, Pantheon is just going to make Xin Zhao go, you know, who? Xin who? This change is dumb as hell. If heal is overpowered, nerf it. If it's not overpowered, it doesn't need a anti-stacking mechanic. That's all it changes. No nerfs to teleport, no nerfs to Last Whisper, no nerfs to Void Staff, no nerfs to Deathfire Grist, no nerfs to Hourglass, no nerfs to Rise, no nerfs to Jax, no nerfs to shit, let me just go through here, I think. I get him, whatever. Basically a very short patch. No nerfs to Teleport is a big one in my opinion. This heal change is not going to do much. Heal is just going to be blatantly better than Barrier. The other thing is they're basically throwing a tantrum and saying, stop using 3 heals, guys! Yeah! It's kind of dumb. If it's over, you know, again, anti-stacking mechanics are dumb. The only time they're not dumb is in abuse mechanics. People were not abusing heal, they're just taking it because it's better. You know? And so, for that reason, dumbest change I've ever seen. That's about it. That's all the changes here. I wish there would have been more, but there are.